Hello and welcome to Crypto Invest TV. I am your host, X8, and let's get into it. So, as we can see, currently today we're sitting at under 34K. But we did drop below 33K, earlier on today, and we're seeing a recovery from that. So I think that personally is a good thing, and I look forward to seeing where we go from here as things start to clear up. Um, so let's go ahead and see how Ethereum is doing today. Ethereum looks like it hit a low of 2047, currently sitting above 2100, so it's seeing its own smaller recovery. What do you think about today's transactions and dips and rises in the market under Doge?
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, I haven't really been paying attention to the market. Been a little sidetracked. We ain't gonna get into it, but I really haven't even been paying attention to the market. To be honest with you, it's been a pretty busy day for mentally and physically. Been trying to accomplish a lot, so I was a little sidetracked today, so I didn't get a chance to scope out the market and the charts. It's never too late, obviously. You know, um, right? So it's I mean, Ethereum's looking good. I think Ethereum will be doing pretty good here in the next week, though, because there's a lot of stuff that's happening with Ethereum and like Dogecoin together. So I think that that's going to pop off in the next week or two. Well, the price wise, at least. Plus, what are we looking at for GWEI for gas? Isn't it extremely low right now?
Talking about the Gwei?
Yeah, the Gwei isn't Gwei like really low right now. I mean, I've seen a lot more ETH
Gwei is at
NFTs on
12 right
Twitter.
now.
See, that's cheap. That's not that bad. And I've seen a lot more ETH NFTs being posted all over Twitter right now because of the Gwei being down. So I feel that a lot more people are going to start, keep obviously buying more ETH to, buy, purchase, or purchase NFTs and stuff like that. So, because that's what ETH is really big for, is purchasing NFTs and like OpenSea and Rarible and stuff like that. So I think that we'll see a super increase here, depending on what happens here eventually too with all the market stuff that we're gonna be talking about here and coming up tonight, I imagine, and in that topic with the SEC. So I'll leave it to that. But for Bitcoin, I mean, it's hard to say what Bitcoin's going to be. I mean, if these, I'll just put it this way: if the Bitcoin maxis want more people to jump into Bitcoin, they need to stop telling them to stop diversifying. Okay. Like that's why a lot of people, I kind of starting to see why a lot of people are like, and I don't know if this is the reason, but I feel like there's a slight hint of this going on, that people are kind of tired of the Bitcoin maxis telling them that, like stop investing in shitcoins, talking about like Dogecoin and Ethereum and stuff like that. Only invest in Bitcoin, So like, I think that pushes away a lot of investors from your project when you tell them not to diversify.
Oh, yeah.
Not saying that it's the devs of Bitcoin saying that or anything, but when you start getting people in there telling you that, if you don't only invest here, then we really don't want you, then people ain't going to be there.
Yeah, I mean, really and honestly, that's just how it is. You know, um,
I mean, it's just truth. I mean, I see Ethereum, is it's got some play to it still. We're at 2161. I mean, shoot, that's higher than what it was last week, so we're doing good.
oh yeah, I mean, we're doing phenomenal in all honesty. I think we're doing absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see these markets come back. I would like to see a little more green candles. I'd like to see Dogecoin up. I'd like to see ETH up, even though I'm not like the biggest fan of ETH. But with the given stuff that they're getting ready to come out with, I'm kind of like leaning, I'm like, okay, all right, ETH, I see you. I know what you're about. Given the information I've learned, like about ETH, yeah, I do kind of understand why a lot of people like it.
Yeah, I mean,
So
I think what I think the end objective with Ethereum is actually a really great thing. I think once we have the 1559 come through, and I think once we get Ethereum fully built out, I think that's when we'll really start to see the end objective of what they were trying to do with Ethereum. But we can get all into that later. Let's go ahead and we'll just start off with our first topic of the day, which is Bitcoin weak. Are we seeing a weakening of Bitcoin? And it's essentially, the usual FUD article that's sitting here and saying why it is that, investing in crypto is a terrible idea. It says crypto bloodbath after recent plunge, Bitcoin is again underperforming stocks this year. Says following a steep decline on Thursday, Bitcoin is now up 13.3% for the year, underperforming the S&P 500 over the same period. For the past month, Bitcoin and stocks as represented by the benchmark S&P 500 have traded places as the better returning bet for investors so far in 2021, but the notoriously volatile Bitcoin is finding it hard to keep up. As of Thursday's close, and the S&P 500 was up 15% year over day, and was gaining pre-market on Friday morning, while crypto price board was awash in red.
I mean,
Says that the latest crypto decline was triggered by the rough tumble Bitcoin took yesterday, falling 6% at one point. Ethereum and Dogecoin had it worse, falling about 10% according to CoinDesk, before recovering. Ethereum and Doge are outperforming stocks for the year, but the latter is in a bear market correction over the past month, and Ethereum is off 13.5% in that period. The recent declines hit just as it appeared crypto coins were beginning to stabilize over the past week. Among the factors that pushed them lower to yesterday were further hawkish rumbling from China and a note to Security and Exchange Commission Chairman Gary Gensler from Elizabeth Warren, which we'll get into that later. But
oh, God.
so they're essentially, this is it's just another FUD article about how, oh look, Bitcoin isn't doing as well as the stock market. But here's the thing: if you're really into crypto, if you really know what your stuff about crypto, Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies are not meant to continually, day over day, month over month, continually beat the stock market. That's just not, there's those are two different types of markets, and so there's
Markets,
different,
yeah.
there's different things that will happen. So
Yeah, tons of
what
different
what are we gonna
elements.
do?
I mean,
What are we gonna do when the stock market crashes here soon? Because of all these things that are going on, and like let's say we end up seeing like a like a like a 30% rotation in stocks, or even a 30% complete drop in stocks. I promise you'll hear nothing about how cryptocurrencies are then going to be doing year over day better than stocks. They're just going to be like, oh no, everything's falling, and then like let's not even focus about cryptocurrency right now. Let's just talk about how the stock market and the how interest is getting out of hand. They'll literally try and direct it towards everything else about the actual markets that we deal with on the daily basis, and then try and omit crypto out of it just because everything's currently bad then. So they don't even want to talk about crypto when everything's doing bad for themselves. But the second that, they get a little glimmer of light and things are doing pretty decent, they're like, oh yeah, see, the stock market that we've had for, 100 years, see how much stronger it is than, Bitcoin. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm glad that you were able to point out a very specific amount of, set scenarios for a very limited period of time. you know but realistically,
see what
look how well the cryptocurrency market is doing for its first 10 years in comparison to the stock market in its first 10 years.
right. And okay, so about that though, the funny thing is the reason I believe this article and these articles even exist is because people like Elizabeth Warren and these other politicians are heavily invested into the stock market, right? So these people like her and the people that write these articles are heavily invested into the stock market and are nervous and scared to see more people fleeing away from the stock market and heading over to cryptocurrency because at least the stock in their mind, at least the stock market is regulated in their favor, right? So it gets regulated in the trader's favor, okay? And that's why they like the stock market so much. Cryptocurrency isn't regulated like the stock market. So they're like, oh, man, they're just going to take money away from our stock market now. And that's going to kill our stocks and our shares and and we're going to lose money. And that's what it's about. We're going to lose money. That's why they are making articles like this.
Yeah, I mean that's essentially them hedging their bets, to try and secure their own financial assets, right? But we'll go ahead.
100%. 100%. That's exactly what they're doing. They're like, oh no, don't go over there because it's better over here.
Don't diversify into crypto. That's essentially what they're saying. You got the maxis saying don't diversify, only be in Bitcoin, and then you got
Yeah, the fucking
all the fudsters just being like, oh yeah, don't even invest in crypto. You should be investing in all these things that are most likely screwed because we thought we could do something right with not having it have anything to make it stay a certain way. Like I promise, if you look at the way that the stock market was when it first started versus how it is now, I promise you there was probably pros about the stock market back when it started that we don't have now, just like how when it first started it had cons that we don't have now. So I can promise you that, they're just I just don't think that when we put a small group of people in control of like a massive amount of responsibility, it just seems like at the end of the day, we don't know what to do. We don't know how to make the actual right decisions. But we'll go ahead and move on into the next topic, which is the bullish deal. So, crypto exchange bullish to go public in a $9 billion blank check deal. Bullish, a cryptocurrency company, said Friday it intended to go public through a merger with Far Peak Acquisition as a special purpose acquisition company in a deal valued at about $9 billion. Shares of the New York blank check company at last check were 2.5% higher and at 10.8 at $10.18. Bullish, a unit of blockchain software company Block One, said in a statement that it planned to launch a regulated cryptocurrency exchange. Dow right? Okay, I don't care about the stocks. The board of the both companies have approved the deal, and the transaction is expected to close later this year, subject to conditions including regulatory clearances. The deal includes a $300 million private investment into public equity anchored by EFM Asset Management of Hong Kong. Other investors include funds and accounts managed by BlackRock, Cryptology Asset Group, and Galaxy Digital. The bullish Far Peak merger would result in proceeds that include net cash in trust of about $600 million, assuming no redemptions. Upon completion of the deal, Far Peak chairman and chief executive Thomas Farley, former president of the New York Stock Exchange, will become CEO of Bullish. Brendan Bulmer, CEO of Block One, will be appointed chairman. In April, Farley described cryptocurrency as the best kept secret in the world and maybe the financial markets. During the past year, Bullish said it received an initial capital injection by Block One of $100 million and digital assets comprising of 164,000 Bitcoin and 20 million EOS, and completed a previously announced $300 million strategic investment round. EOS is a blockchain-based decentralized operating system that is designed to create, host, and support secure, decentralized, anonymous applications and smart contracts. Bullish said it is backed by investors including Peter Thorell's Thorell Capital and Founders Fund, Alan Howard, Louis Bacon, Richard Lee, Christian Angermeyer's, Aperion Investment Group, Galaxy Digital, and global investment bank Nomura. Bullish said it would run a private pilot program leading up to a public launch where participants will be able to test and experience the platform firsthand in a simulated environment.
That's awesome. It sounds pretty cool. I like it. I mean, EOS is awesome. I'm into EOS. I don't have none, but I like what they got going on. But this sounds pretty awesome, actually. Galaxy Digital backs it. So, I mean, the only thing I don't like Novogratz for is saying, Dogecoin is something you don't need to invest. But I won't even say I don't like them. I just don't like that opinion. You know what I'm saying? Right. Telling other people what they should and shouldn't invest in is, I don't know, man. Like, that's like telling somebody what they should and shouldn't go to school for almost, I feel like. People like and take pride in their investments, regardless if another person likes them or not,
I think people like and take pride in making their own decisions.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. Like, yeah, okay. So somebody will say, I don't think this is a wise investment, and it might be, a very good investor or something of that nature. And you could sit there and kind of take it in as, like, okay, cool. Thanks for the advice. I'll look into some of the things that you look into and try to keep my eyes open, But at the same time, I'm still going to make my own decision on what I'm investing in. And so, anyways, besides that, though, like that's cool, though. This sounds awesome. I think that's a huge thing. $9 billion blank check deal. Oof, that's a lot of money.
Yes, sir. I think
You just
some people are going to be fairly excited for that.
20 million EOS though. Jesus Lord. That's a bag. What was that? 156,000 Bitcoin?
164,000 Bitcoin. Yes.
Holy Moses. That's a lot of Bitcoin, Brady. That's a lot of Bitcoin.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what that equates out to, off the top of my head, but I can tell you it's
I
well
think,
within the
I think
millions.
it's like, well, what's the total count is 21 million, so it's probably like 1% or something like that, or 10%. My bad,
We'll go ahead and move
1%.
into
Yeah.
the next topic, which is Elizabeth Warren wants the SEC to finally regulate crypto markets. The Wild West days of Bitcoin and Dogecoin could be numbered if Elizabeth Warren gets her way. Elizabeth Warren has warned that cryptocurrency investors are at the mercy of manipulators uh, and fraudsters because the cryptocurrency market is not properly regulated. Um, she goes on to say that we demand for cryptocurrencies and the use of cryptocurrency exchanges. Uh, while the demand for cryptocurrency and the use of cryptocurrency exchanges have skyrocketed, the lack of common sense regulations has left ordinary investors at the mercy of manipulators and fraudsters. These regulatory gaps endanger consumers and investors and undermine the safety of our financial markets. The SEC must use its full authority to address these risks, and Congress must also step up to close these regulatory gaps and ensure that every investor has access to a safe cryptocurrency market. The Massachusetts senator implored that SEC Chair Gary Gensler to finally do something about the world of crypto, including online exchanges like Coinbase and Binance, where people can buy and sell Bitcoin as can buy coins such as Bitcoin, Ether, Doge, and thousands of others. I don't think you can buy
Well,
thousands of others on Coinbase, but
well, you could buy them, but not thousands. But even at that, like Coinbase is kind of regulated by itself. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
you
well,
necessarily
this is essentially
you
what.
necessarily they necessarily don't need to be regulated any more than they already really are, because I mean you pay taxes on there, you pay fees, you know what I'm saying? So it's like pretty regulated there. Um I'm assuming that she just doesn't really understand, and she must be
Well, that's what I was about to say. She has some
unknowingly talking
questions.
about she must be unknowingly talking about like dApps, like Pancake, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think.
I'm not gonna diss her and say that, like I normally would, because I don't really like her, but she's not really wrong there. And uh we definitely do need a little bit safer area here for sure, 100%. But I don't like the fact that what they think is safe is really not. You know what I'm saying? It's not safe for us. It's safe for them. And I don't really want them to get their hands dipped into it unless it benefits us, the people who are actually making the crypto market what it is,
Yeah,
here in America.
if it wasn't for the for the individuals getting into cryptocurrencies, this simply wouldn't have even have happened to begin with. Like, yeah, it's really important that we have institutional adoption and government adoption over time and things like that. But if it wasn't for the people, the individuals, you wouldn't have the cryptocurrency market. And so these are some of the questions that apparently she asked. Says Warren included questions in her letter to the SEC chairman and has asked for them to be answered by July 28th. The questions themselves are an interesting peek into how prominent Democrats are on approaching the relatively new world of crypto regulation, and we've copied them in full below. So it says, do you believe that cryptocurrency exchanges are currently operating in a fair, orderly, and efficient manner? If not, what problems have the SEC identified that are associated with the use of these exchanges? So that's question one. Question two is, how do the characteristics of assets traded on cryptocurrency exchanges differ from those assets traded on traditional securities exchanges? Do these characteristics warrant additional investor and consumer protections for cryptocurrency exchanges relative to those provided for traditional exchanges? And then the third question is, describe the extent of the SEC's existing authority to regulate existing cryptocurrency exchanges. Well, I can say not a whole bunch. To what extent that the authority differ from the agency's authority over traditional security exchanges? And then before we continue on all these questions, we'll go ahead and we'll just do these first three. So she's asking, do you believe, and she's talking to the chairman, that cryptocurrencies exchanges are currently operating in a fair, orderly, and efficient manner? Well, here's the thing about the cryptocurrency exchanges, Miss Warren, is that they're built on something called the blockchain. And so, generally speaking, these large exchanges like Coinbase and Binance run on an extremely efficient manner. Otherwise, they wouldn't be some of the top exchanges of the world. One of the reasons why it is that you pay fees on these exchanges is because these exchanges do try to give relative protections to their individual investors. That doesn't mean that it's perfect. Just like any other traditional security investments, there's always some kind of backdoor that could potentially be, used. Just like with any exchange in the world, if there's something that's that's not fully based off of blockchain technology, there is an easy way to get into it. But getting into blockchain technology itself is not easy on its own. And then it says,
not unless there's a security weakness. That's it.
Exactly.
That's the only way. That's the only way. And normally, blockchain technology is so secure that we've talked about this many times. You cannot hack a blockchain unless it doesn't have a lot of nodes. If it only has like 2 or 3 nodes, you can hack it, probably. I mean, that's only 2 or 3 computers. But a blockchain like Bitcoin or Ethereum or something else, no, have fun. And even trying to hack the ones with 3 nodes, have fun, because guarantee you security systems will be set in place.
All right, I'll tell you a story about a hack, essentially, and I call it a hack very loosely. So bear in mind that I call this a hack very loosely. But I'm going to tell you a story about a hack that I know with a blockchain, and it's the only successful one that I know, and everyone's still invested in it. And do you know what that hack was? That hack was Ethereum. Because we have Ethereum, but then what else do we have? We have what's called Ethereum Classic. And the reason why we have Ethereum Classic is because whenever the devs had done that massive update that made Ethereum essentially what it is today, well, not necessarily today, but it made it before its most recent updates, they had to go through and have all the nodes verify this new blockchain that they had developed. And there was a select amount of nodes that ended up rejecting the devs who created the blockchain their information. They rejected it, and so those nodes still run on the old blockchain information from the original Ethereum, and that's actually why we have Ethereum Classic. So there's a little story for you about hacking a blockchain. Even the devs who created Ethereum and tried to do a fix couldn't even get all of the nodes that were essentially for their network to agree with the devs of the network that this was the current and new blockchain, and that is why we have Ethereum Classic. So that goes to show you the level of how hard it is to hack an a well secured, well built blockchain. We'll go on to the fourth and fifth question, which is foreign regulators have moved to restrict cryptocurrencies in their jurisdictions in recent years while calling for international coordinations to address regulatory gaps. One specific regulatory challenge may arise from the unique organizational structure of some global exchanges. For example, Binance Binance, one of the largest cryptocurrency exchanges in the world by trading volume, is everywhere and yet is based nowhere. The cryptocurrency exchange has processed trillions of dollars in trades this year as it transfers digital and non-conventional money around the world through a concessional constellational of affiliates, and yet has no headquarters. In your view, to what extent is international coordination needed to address gaps in regulation of cryptocurrency exchanges to ensure the protection of investors and consumers in the United States? So essentially what they're doing is they're asking the same question that they were asking above, but they're asking how is it that the global security for cryptocurrency will affect the American security for cryptocurrency, or for American investors at the very least. And
that doesn't even make sense.
And that's kind of my point, is that she brings up this thing about how Binance technically doesn't have a headquarters. Well, the thing is that it doesn't really actually need a headquarters. That's kind of the point of blockchain. I mean, that's kind of the point of cryptocurrency. That's kind of the whole reason of Bitcoin, is that you don't need to have a specific location with a specific group of people that you specifically have to know in order to be able to trust them, because you know, based on the code of the cryptocurrency, that you can trust that. I'm not saying that you have to trust the exchange, but I can tell you this much: if you buy the crypto on the exchange and you take that and you put it into your own personal wallet, they no longer have anything to do with you anymore. That's just kind of how it works. If you choose to leave it on there, then you're taking a certain level of an inherent risk, and that's the reason why you see more people use certain exchanges. There's a reason why a lot of people use Binance over, say Whitebit or something like that. It's because people know it much more. They know that the security for it is fairly high. Same for Coinbase, same for Uphold, same for a lot of these other really well-known, for all of these really well-known exchanges. There's a reason why we can have these exchanges and they don't have to have, a place of operations. It's because it has its place of operations. Its place of operations is the world. The whole point of Bitcoin is for everyone to use it, and that's what made the birth of cryptocurrency. And that's the reason why I find Bitcoin actually to be such an important thing for people when it comes to cryptocurrencies, because it almost seems like if there's anything that you can try to explain to somebody, it's explain the journey of Bitcoin to people, and it seems like they become a little bit more receptive than if you try to explain the journey of, say, Ethereum, or if you try to explain the journey of Dogecoin even.
See, that's why we don't need people who don't understand blockchain technology asking questions. Because
people that ask questions that are in a level of power.
She asked some decent questions, right? I'll give her that. But repeating the same question twice and us sitting here and being able to give her an answer, like, that's crazy because when you sit down and you would actually talk to like a developer, right? They're going to tell you exactly almost similar things, but more in more depth, right? About how the blockchain technology is actually one of the safest technologies in the world because it's all anonymous, peer to peer transactions. It's not through a headquarters and then to somebody. It's through nodes and obviously the exchanges, right?
Right.
So, and those exchanges operate on the same network as the nodes. So the nodes are the ones that are, validating these transactions. So it's like, what do you
So
mean? How is global security going to help or whatever? America said our security is going to be the same. It's the same security. There's no difference. Why? Because it's all one network.
So we'll go ahead and we'll look at question number 5, which is in a recent address, Committee Futures Trading Commission CFTC Commissioner Dan M. Berkowitz stated in a pure peer-to-peer DeFi system, here is I don't know what they were doing there. There is no intermediary to monitor markets for fraud and manipulation, and to prevent money laundering, safeguard deposited funds, ensure counterparty performance, or make customers whole when processes fail. A system without intermediaries is a Hobstanian market. Uh,
Okay. I gotta. All right, hold on, real fast. This guy, just can we move on to the next question? Because this guy's an idiot. For one, whoever's asking this question, this person is an idiot because that is the reason blockchain technology was created was to avoid intermediary parties. We don't need a third party system
well,
because
we'll
then
move
the
on to the
system
next
itself.
question.
Well, I'm trying to answer that question
Well,
though.
the next
But
question
so,
is: do you agree with
but,
Commissioner Baviscus?
no,
Or well, there you go. That's question 6.
no, and the reason being is because blockchain technology was created to avoid intermediary third-party systems. Okay, that's exactly what. That's why. That's why they created the blockchain was to get away from the banks and to create a decentralized banking system for the people. And that's exactly what this is cryptocurrency is not something that needs to rely on third party systems because there are people who create applications to help regulate.
Well, you're really gonna
So
like 7 and 8. So 7 and
what's
8,
seven?
and we'll go ahead and answer both of these at the same time because they're essentially the same question in my opinion. It says, do decentralized platforms raise similar investor and consumer protection concerns within the SEC jurisdiction? If so, what challenges does the SEC face in addressing these concerns? Question 8. Do the characteristics of decentralized cryptocurrency exchanges warrant additional investor and consumer protections relative to those needed for centralized cryptocurrency exchanges?
What? What the? That is literally the same exact question, different wording. So the that's the problem I have with these people is like they want to, be in the know-how, right? But they don't even have the how to know.
Yeah, like
So
you're
it's like,
asking questions when you don't understand the fundamentals of cryptocurrency. So don't ask questions like this if you don't even know what cryptocurrency is. You need to understand what cryptocurrency technology, blockchain technology, you need to understand at least the fundamentals of what it's about before you start trying to ask questions about DeFi. DeFi is decentralized finance, which means that no one is supposed to be involved whatsoever other than all of the anonymous people involved with each other anonymously. So no, they
Right.
don't have any jurisdiction because they'll never have jurisdiction because that is the point of DeFi. If the SEC had
That's the point of
jurisdiction to
blockchain.
DeFi, then it wouldn't be DeFi because then that means that it's regulated. If it's regulated, that means that it has some kind of centralization.
Yeah, see, these people just, oof, this is mind-boggling. This whole article, this is the crap that we got to deal with. That okay, these are the people that make our laws, man. Like this is crazy. All right, because you would have thought that they would have sat down with Google for a second, and because sometimes Google can be your friend, and you would have thought that they would have sat down with Google and been like, "Hey, how does decentralized, how does DeFi work? Like how do decentralized applications and decentralized exchanges work? What does cryptocurrency mean? What does blockchain mean?" You see, you would have thought they would have sat down and did that before they started coming out and being like, does the SEC have any jurisdiction here? No, 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 and no. And neither does the government or Congress. That is just, oh man, I'm just like so gone right now off of that. That's comedy to me, man, because it's like these are the people who are in charge, dude. It's like these are the centralized people who are trying to take centralization to the next level of a decentralized network and essentially force us into centralization. And that's crazy.
Yeah, and I don't disagree with that at all. And that's why the next topic before we go into projects is the fall of fiat currency. And the reason why I want to talk about that is because we're running into that brunt reality, and I think we're going to end up running into that brunt reality here fairly soon. I think personally we're going to be seeing some extremely hard times when it comes to fiat currency transaction. And what I mean by that is what we've done in the past year when it comes to fiat currency. And I'm not even talking about just America. I'm talking about the world as a whole. If you go and you look at the 10-year for other countries, a lot of countries are near, at, or are negative in their 10-year and in their 30-year. And America is not much better. I think we were sitting at like a 1.3, like the lowest that it's been in like forever, essentially. And so they keep talking about how this inflation is going to be transitory, and that we're going to see it for a few months and then it's going to go away. And like, oh well, the price of lumber is starting to fall because you know people contractors just aren't buying it, and so since they're not buying it, the lumber yards have to drop the prices. And I'm just like, yeah, that can happen with certain things, but just because you see like one thing in a specific sector go back to a little bit closer to a normal price doesn't mean that, like, oh no, you can see it's transitory. Look, the wood's starting to go down. I'm like, oh boy, the wood's starting to go down. That's good. What about everything else? We're not going to talk about everything else. Exactly. And that's the whole reason why, is because
Right.
we are starting our free fall. And just I personally feel like no one's seeing it yet. But I feel like we're going to be going into a free fall here soon. The market's starting to do weird things when it comes to stocks. The stocks are starting to do some, they're starting to do some weird things. It's almost like they're trying to go up, but then they're falling flat. And then it's like, then the next day we're having a rise. And I feel like it's almost like we're starting to have a panic to try and almost maintain these markets. And I feel like there's a reason why there was that article that we read earlier about how cryptocurrency is not doing well because it had that 10% drop or that 15% drop or whatever they said. But the S&P 500 was up, and the other thing is just like when it comes to all these investors for like I don't want to say gold and silver because there's more to it, but metal and or mineral asset investments. I feel like we're going to start to see issues with those because, like we've said before, if you don't have it, you don't own it. And if that's true for crypto, then it's true for everything else. If you don't own the gold, if the gold's not in your hands, if the gold's not at your house, in your pockets, it's not your gold. You don't own it. It's not yours. Whenever everything collapses, if you try to go get your gold, guess what? That company, they're going to laugh in your face because they already took it all. Why? Because they truly own it. And since everything's collapsed, guess what? Money doesn't mean anything anymore. Why is it that in 2008, no one got in trouble? No one got in trouble for what happened in 2008. What, you think they're going to get in trouble if it happens again? No. Why? They didn't get in trouble last time. All we ever do is give all these high-level institutions big ol' slaps on the wrists anytime that they do seriously terrible things to our economy. We give them slaps on the wrists. And that's all that we've done every time is, oh, here's just another slap on the wrist. Oh, we're just going to give you a fine. Money doesn't actually matter because y'all have destroyed the concept of currency when it comes to fiat currency. So what do you mean you gave them a fine? You can't give a bank a fine and then act like, oh yeah, that bank actually paid that fine. No, the banks and the governments both create the money together because it's not just the mint that mints the money. Banks mint money digitally. That's why we have fractional reserve banking. So it's not like we only print physical dollars. We print digital dollars as well. And if you look at our digital dollar to physical dollar ratio, it's not good. So there's a reason why we have caps on our bank accounts to where like you can only pull out so much per day. There's a reason why whenever you go to make large investments with like straight cash that it has to be, it has to be notified. It's not only just because like, oh, we want to make sure that, you got that money by legal means. It's because they got to make sure that like they keep everything in the system that they've created perfectly dialed in, because the second that the dialing in messes up and they mess something up, it'll essentially be over. And we'll end up with another 2008 scenario. And I'm telling you right now, if we end up with a 2008 scenario right now, it's not going to be good. Unemployment is high. Open jobs are high. But then we have all these other things that are making it to where people don't want to go back to work. You still have people that are scared about this whole COVID thing. You have people that don't want to do certain things because they're in opposition of XYZ. You have all these different problems that are not only going on with America, but are going on across the world. And if it wasn't for our economic issues, then we have supply issues that are driving forward our economic issues. Over in on the west, crops are just dying in the masses, and farmers are losing massive amounts of crops, up to 50%. Imagine losing half of everything in a year. And that's what a lot of these farmers are dealing with over in the west because they're not getting enough water, right? So they're not able to produce the same level of crops that they were before. Whenever there's less crops, then that means that the demand will be even higher because there's less to go around. If demand goes higher because there's less to go around, then that means the price goes up. If we're already seeing inflation and we're already dealing with all these other issues and then food prices are going up, then it's only fueling the fire. Gas prices are going up because we've stopped this pipeline, so effectively we've done these things that are making it to where gas is now becoming more expensive and we're becoming less energy dependent, which means that our demand is going up, but our production is going down, so the price is going up. So now you have food going up, and now you have gas going up. And those are the two things that fuel the economy. Those are two very important pillars for your economy. And it's not any better over here in my state. There's farmers all over the state that have lost crops for both reasons. They've either A, lost it because they didn't get any rain, because they're way off towards the desertous end, or B, they got way too much rain and their crops actually drown because, one part of their field was just a pinch lower than the rest, and then it rained so much and the ground became so saturated that part of it turns into a bog, and then it kills the wheat. So then bread goes up, just for an example. But that's the point that I'm making. We're having multiple things impact not only our economic environment, but then our actual world environment, our ecosystem is being affected by external things. And I'm not talking about necessarily in the point of global warming so much as I'm saying that in this current year we're dealing with a lot of issues in the ecosystem that is compounding the issues that we're having economically. Because you got to remember, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how strong an economy is. If the ecosystem fails in a very bad way, like for instance, when we had the Dust Bowl, that was very detrimental to our economy. It doesn't matter how strong the economy is. If something detrimental happens to your ecosystem for a certain reason, it can be detrimental to your economy as well, no matter how strong it is. So at the end of the day, all these things are packing themselves up against the back of fiat currency, and since we've essentially pedaled our wheels on it for so long, it's just shoving it forward, and it's getting to the point to where your money is going to just be completely worthless.
Yep, that's the truth, man. Paper money's on its way to the end, buddy.
You are quite literally going to see children playing in at home with just stacks of cash because it's going to be worth nothing. There's countries out there that have $1 trillion bills because their economy is so wrecked that even a $1 trillion bill is absolutely worthless.
Well, of course. Yeah, that's the truth. That's absolutely true, man. Paper money's on its way to being worth nothing.
But we'll go ahead.
Dude, a dollar is worth what 4 cents? You said the other night. A dollar is worth 4 cents.
Yeah, the U.S. dollar is worth 4 cents from its original value back when we first started the Federal Reserve System.
Yep, that's insane.
Which, mind you, is also owned privately by a very small group of people. So the entire world runs off of the back of a handful of people, and if they decide to make bad decisions, everyone else in the world ends up paying for it. And then no one gets any repercussion for it, other than the people that have to pay for it, of course. But moving forward, we'll go ahead and let's go and check out some projects. We'll go ahead and start out with DeFi. Let's see what our top gainers for the day are in DeFi. It would appear that standard tokenization protocol is at a 24% increase over the past 24 hours, so basically 1% per hour. And then it's on an 18% increase over the past 7 days. Coming behind it would be Terra at a 21% increase with a 42% increase over the past 7 days. Synthex coming in at 18% for the past 24 hours with a 62% increase over the past 7 days. Enzyme with a 17% increase with 31% increase over the past 7 days. Even Compound looking at a 10% increase with a 16% increase over the past 7 days. So we're actually seeing quite the bounce back over here in DeFi for these specific ones. Go and see what the top losers of the day are. So it looks like Haven Protocol is on a 40% down after a 40% up. So it looks like they pretty much just lost a week's worth of gains and are pretty much sitting at the same price that they were before. Then you have Devira Dio, and it's at a 16% for the past 7 day. Token Ion or Tokenalon, I don't know. Network token, it's down 18% for the week. Perpetual Protocol, it's up 11% for the week, down 2%. So we can actually see that when it comes to the overall lows for 24 hours, it's actually not looking too bad. We'll go ahead and we can just check out some of the native coins. We go and we'll see how the top 10 are doing. So Bitcoin at a almost 3% for the past 24 hours. Ethereum at 2% for the past 24. Tether remaining even. Binance up 3%. Cardano up 2.5%. XRP up 4%. Dogecoin up 10%, so not too bad there. USDT maintaining even. Polkadot up 2%. Uniswap is up almost 3%. Let's see what the top gainers in the main market is. So for native crypto, or yeah, for main tokens, or for the main currencies, it looks like Axie Infinity is up 54% for the past 24 hours and 201% for the past 7 days. So I want to check that out. Wow. Talk about a run up. Hit a low of, it looks like it went as low as about $3.35, and now it's currently sitting at 1767. So quite the run up from let's see, from June 22nd. That's pretty awesome, I'll have to say.
Yeah, I mean, everything looks pretty good, to be honest with you. The fact that Dogecoin is up 10% excites me. I like that.
Yeah, even Decentraland is up 28% for the week, 11% for the day. Harmony is up 30% for the week, and 10% for the day. EOS, they're up 18% today. Atom is up 12%. We're seeing a pretty healthy bounce back from the other day. I mean, we're still, down for the week in a lot of currencies, but I'd still say that we're doing fairly well. Is there any projects that you wanted to bring up in particular?
I mean, I haven't really been looking at it a lot lately. It's been a rough day. I mean, baby Dogecoin is doing pretty good. Up 18.65%. Burn one.
Up
One of my
21%
favorite.
now.
Oh wow. Yeah, I guess so. Burn one of my favorite projects out there. Up 24.38%. Doing pretty good. Say they got a bright future ahead of them. Burn one.
Yeah, I agree. They're up almost 24%.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. They're doing pretty freaking good. they're not doing so bad there.
Yeah, a pretty healthy climb. Looks like they're definitely biting and gnawing for that point. That
Well, I mean
eight
they do
zeros to
daily
2.
AMAs too, and I think they might have done a burn recently. I'm not sure, but I know that they're always doing AMAs, and he's so active. Like the founder is so active within the community, and the devs are too. The community is awesome. It's good project. They got a bright future. Let's see. Another project that's doing really well is.
Yeah, it looks like there was a burn one day and 22 hours ago. It looks like 271,000 were burned.
Nice, nice.
It
Yeah, it's
looks like 42 days and 2 hours ago somebody accidentally burned off a very small amount.
how much?
0.0000117 of a token.
Oh wow, that's funny. It's probably a test burn. That's probably what that was. Probably a test burn. See if the wallet was good.
Yeah, but that was 42 days ago. The first burn was 63 days ago.
Oh, the first burn was 63 days ago.
Yeah, that's why I said I think somebody accidentally did a burn or something because it's like such a small amount. It's not
Yeah,
even.
maybe, who knows? Either that or maybe they were clearing out a wallet or something that had just a bit.
Yeah,
I don't know.
maybe, who knows?
Yeah, that's a good project though, man. They got a lot of good things going on. Man, I'm not even gonna lie. This project, Moonstar, they are up 26.85%. They're doing really well.
Yeah, it
That's
would
pretty.
appear so. Almost
Yeah, they're doing.
27%. Oh, look
Yeah,
at
they're
that,
doing.
27%.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, they're doing relatively well, man. Let's see. I mean, it's a good project. I mean, I haven't really done too much research into it to see exactly what they're about, but I mean, it says they're a stealth launched, community driven DeFi token program to reward holders through its frictionless yield and liquidity generation. So it's a pretty cool project. I mean,
Yeah, I'm looking at
um,
their burn address. It looks like only 1.64% has been burned thus far. So it must be
I
on.
mean,
I imagine it's probably like on a transaction burn or something. Let me take a look at it.
yeah, it probably is on a transaction burn, and if they're gonna burn some, it's gonna be sometime within the future because they're such a new project.
Well, it looks like
Like,
21 days ago they burned 9 billion.
oh wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, they burned 9 billion 21 days ago. Let's see. Looks like that one. Oh, no, here's one. It looks like 79 days ago they burned two and a
I
half
mean, they
trillion, and then 86 days ago was 5.6 trillion, and then another was 4.3 trillion.
whoa, that's a lot of tokens.
Yeah, but that was back at the very beginning, and I'm I ca let me go and see.
How long ago was that?
Oh, the last largest burn for the 4.3 was almost 100 days ago. Then the next one was 86. Then the next one was
So they've been around for a while, huh?
yeah.
Okay, I thought they were a relatively new project. I never heard of them until just recently. So that's awesome. Been around for quite a while. All right. I mean, I just hold some, so I seen it was looking good on the chart one day, and I bought some. And so that's why I was talking about it.
Right.
Another one too that's doing really freaking good. I mean, it was doing way better a couple of days ago. Like a day ago, but it's Safe BTC. They're doing. They had a real nice peak. Now dropping a little bit, but they're still up a lot. It's a token with frictionless fee redistribution and liquidity.
Yeah,
Adds on trans.
they're like 30% up for the day.
Yeah, they're doing pretty good. They're rocking the charts today.
Yeah, it looks like they had like a real big buy. Uh, you know, it looks like they had a
Yeah,
real big buy somewhere, between like 215 and 230. They had like a real big buy, and it's kind of been actually trickling out since then.
yeah. It's pretty. They're doing pretty good though. I mean, still on a on a relatively good climb. Another one is how they pronounce it, I guess, is HODL token, but we pronounce it as hold. HODL. They're doing pretty good today.
Yeah, we'll pull them up here in a second.
Apparently, they fixed the small investors rewards pool. So now it's if you hold under 10 billion, you can get better rewards.
If you hold under 10 billion, you can get better rewards.
Better rewards so much for getting. So, like, I tried to claim rewards and I paid 17 cents to collect 0. And I was like, what the heck? So I went into a Telegram and told them, and they were like, oh, yeah. They were like, hey, man, it's. I think I had to. I think I had to go buy a little more. Is what it was, and that the fraction of it was so small that it wouldn't register.
Mm-hmm.
On the chart itself or on the purchasing site, or the claim site. So I was like, well, okay, that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, whatever. I'm not that pressed about it, but. Then we talked about it. They did that little giveaway thing where they had people donating. Nobody donated to me, but I wasn't really pressed about that. But so I mean, it's a good project. They're doing very well. They got a lot of good things going on. Oh,
Yeah, I look forward to see what they're doing in the future.
Yeah, me too. Definitely 100%. I mean, Feg Token, we can definitely talk about them. They're obviously down right now, but these guys are traveling in New York right now, and their stock ticker went live first, or not stock ticker, but their advertisement went live on the NASDAQ big screen and right in the center of New York. And so that's been going on for a few days. So they're obviously dropping a little bit on the charts.
Well, that's why I pulled it out to the 1 month chart. You can see, yeah, they're on a downward trend right now on the end of the chart, but realistically, I'd say they're staying fairly even still.
Dude, once everybody gets with FegX V2, my bad, sorry about that. FegX V2, then I think everybody will put a bunch more money into it. It's going to be a really good thing. A lot of people need to look into it because it's going to be awesome. And I'm not saying that as investment advice. I'm just saying I think it's just going to be awesome. Like, it's going to be really cool. Right? They've been releasing some Feg token NFTs past couple of weeks. Then these are super sweet.
You said they released what?
Some Feg token NFTs. I've been seeing Feg token NFTs come out from Feg accounts, and those things are freaking awesome, man. They look super awesome. I want one, or at least want one.
Yeah, I definitely will have to go. I'll have to go and check them out for sure.
Yeah, they're pretty sweet, man. They look really sweet. I'm really looking forward to where this project's heading. So, need to go get me some more Feg token.
Yeah, most certainly.
Yes, I do. And that's about it, though. I mean, for right now, I don't really have any. I mean, we got Moon Nation. Okay, Moon Nation's doing good. They just released a clip of their game. Their ticker is MNG, but they just released a a sneak peek at their game that they released it, and it looks awesome. Looks like it's going to be awesome. I'm really looking forward to this project and looking forward to where it's going.
Oh yeah,
Also,
go ahead.
there's another project. No, we'll talk about them for a second, but there's another project I want to bring up because these guys are awesome people and they deserve a shout out for sure. But Moon Nation is doing pretty good. They're up. You know what I'm saying? Like not very much right now, 0.18%, but still they're doing really good. And I think there's a big following with them in the anticipation of their game being released. So I think that'll be really cool. I'm really looking forward to playing it, actually.
Yeah, I'm very curious myself when it comes to the game. I think it's something that will be really interesting.
Did you see it? Did you see a sneak peek of it?
No, I haven't yet.
You should go check it out.
Yeah, I just know that they've been working on the game, so I've been really interested to go and check it out.
So as a gamer, I'm gonna be honest with you. When I seen the little sneak peek that they put up there, it was kind of clunky, a little bit. Just watching them run around and stuff, I was like, oh yes. You know, like I used to play video games heavy. I don't know if you knew that, but I was into video games, not like competitions and stuff like that, but I used to play all the time with a group of friends and stuff. And so, you know, having a smooth UI in your video game is what really makes people like it.
Oh yeah, I think it's really important to have it be, really user friendly.
Oh, definitely. So it looked like, obviously it's still in, pre alpha stage, right? And so they're just releasing like the tester that they have, they're trying to test and find what bugs, obviously, probably. But it looks like it's going to be a fair game, and I'm looking forward to it. So most definitely go check it out if you're interested. But the other one I wanted to talk about is True XTR. These guys are awesome people. Like legit. I can't. You'd have to pull them up on PooCoin. They might be on CoinMarket. They might be on CoinMarketCap. I'm not sure. I haven't looked for them on there yet. But they're good people. Really good people. They got a really good project coming too, and they're doing some pretty big things right now. They actually just I share a lot of giveaways on Twitter and do a lot of giveaways sometimes. But anyways, so the giveaway hosts that I follow have been picking up this True XTR, and I personally have been in contact with the devs to try and help me with some things about smart contracts and stuff. And I have been in, contact with one of the people involved as well. His name's, on Twitter, his name is Steve H, I think. But the cool people, man, they're like really good people, really helpful, answered a question right away. And yeah, so I mean, they might be on PooCoin.
Yeah, I got them pulled up right now, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a big sale. Obviously took place. Like a real big dump took place, but they ate up a quarter of that. So I'll give them that, at least a quarter, or almost a quarter, maybe. But
yeah, it looks like they got about 81,000 in liquidity for BNB, 259 BNB thus far.
And they're all locked wallets.
And then let's go ahead and check out. Looks like they got
the devs are
186 holders.
Yeah, the team is transparent. Well, they're a relatively new project,
Mm-hmm.
And they mean well. They got they want the community there. They're there for the community. They want to be community driven, It seems like because their community is awesome. Like I went in there, asked for some help, and they right away, instant. Hey, what do you need? In my inbox and Telegram. So, you know, they're very transparent. You go in there and you talk to them, and they'll answer any questions you have. It's a good project, and I mean, I see a bright future for it. They have quite a few good things going on. So,
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
yeah, well, that's about it, man. That's about all I have for you tonight.
All right. Well, I think that was a fair amount of projects to take a look at. So, I think we can go ahead and close out the night for this stream. Well, everyone, we are glad to have you here. If you're coming to check out this stream later, make sure to drop us a like, leave us a comment down below, tell us what you think of this of our streams, and then make sure that you subscribe if you haven't already. And if you are subscribed, make sure that you go up to the top where you're subscribed, hit the bell notification icon, and then also make sure that you change it to all notifications so that way you don't miss the next time that we go live. Other than that, have a great day or night, and we'll see you next time.